it and make it lame and gay.
Put a chick in it, make it lame and gay. I think over the last week or so, there's been a lot of news about Sharmina Obaid-Chinoy's Star Wars movie with Rey Skywalker, Palpatine. Now, it's crazy because there's been a lot of talk about this in the past from other things, other clips, and we're going to watch some of those now. But there's been a lot of talk about her and how she's not really a great fit, I think, for Star Wars. And that's my personal opinion. I think there's a lot of people out there that actually agree with what I'm saying, that actually agree with the fact that she shouldn't be doing anything to do with Star Wars. And this just goes to show how Disney Lucasfilm, has lost their way from being able to make any good Star Wars. It is all about the activism. It's making sure that the only requirements that you need right now to make Star Wars is to either not be a Star Wars fan and hate the IP, or you've got to be an activist and a woman, and preferably a woman of color. So this clip has obviously been going around. She did an interview on CNN. Let's just watch it.
Also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say...
Now, first of all, there's a lot of people out there that are making the argument that obviously the first woman and the first woman of color to direct a Star Wars film, I think they're like, okay, yes, maybe a film, right? But it's not the first woman or first woman of color to direct anything to do with Star Wars. You got Deborah Chow. You've got, you've now got Leslie Headland, a queer woman. You've now got, you've had Bryce Dallas Howard. And that's just in the Star Wars era. And obviously you've had Kathleen Kennedy at the helm. But even when George Lucas owned Star Wars, there were women involved in Star Wars. So, whatever. This is the narrative they want to push. I don't get it. It's stupid. It's a stupid narrative. I'm getting over it. Everybody else is getting over it.
But the force is strong with this one.
No, it's not.
Here's Sharmina Obaid-Chinoy.
I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Did you forget about Kathleen Kennedy? She's been shaping the story of the galaxy far, far away for 12 years. The writer's room is more than 50% female? So it's about time. Okay. I think it's about time these people shut their fucking mouths. So moving on, this is actually the main, this was out ages ago. This was at some woman's fucking conference meeting. I don't even fucking know what it was. What does it say? Women in the world. We've talked about this before. We talked about this when this clip first sort of hit and came out, but I think there was something that I forgot to point out in this, and let's just play this out and I'll give you my thoughts on it.
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable.
Well, if you're allowed to say that, I like to make women uncomfortable. Through everything that I do, I like to make women uncomfortable. Is that okay to say? I'm going to make a Star Wars movie, and I'm going to make all the women feel uncomfortable. Is that all right?
I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Well, I enjoy making women uncomfortable. Is that okay to say? You sexist piece of shit? Jon Stewart's a retard in himself. He's a little cucked little bitch too. But I don't know what makes it okay for these fucking retards out there They're allowed to be as sexist as they want to be because they're black women. I like making men uncomfortable. I like, that's what drives me, making men uncomfortable. Well, okay, if I was making a Star Wars movie and I was promoting that movie and saying that my intention behind making this movie is to make you women out there, all you female fans of Star Wars, I want to make you feel uncomfortable because you deserve it. Let's see how that goes.
Not you, just not.
Not you, because you're already a little bitch.
Not you. Not you.
Point taken, point taken.
But, it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here.
Well, it's important for me to look in the eyes of a woman and say, I am here.
And recognize that.
And
recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to make something to make sure that you feel uncomfortable and make you uncomfortable, and that's important. That's what's important. I'm going to make you feel as uncomfortable as possible. All you women, female Star Wars fans, all you women in the industry, I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. I see a complete double standard here, because if she was a dude and she was saying what I was just saying, she would be raked over the coals, fired, never to get a job in the industry ever again. So what makes it okay for her to say this bullshit? I mean, Jon Stewart started it all with the fucking, we're subverting the patriarchy and all this kind of stuff. You're a dumb cunt.
Because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're...
No. You need to change your attitude. You need to change your attitude. You need to change the way you think.
Shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations, that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection, and then say, maybe there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
I think she needs to look in the mirror. She's a sexist, 100%. She hates men, and that's what qualifies her good enough to make Star Wars. Now, I'm not saying that Star Wars is a male, thing. It is predominantly male. I've seen Nina Infinity out there on Twitter biting back at this, and then people biting back at her. I've seen Anna out there talking about this. These are female Star Wars fans. They were always, but they liked Star Wars for the exact same reasons everybody else likes Star Wars. It had nothing to do with the patriarchy. It had nothing to do with the fact that there were male heroes. There are female heroes. This is such a bullshit narrative, and I find it disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Because like I said, if any male director was to come out and say, my actual intention behind making this movie, whether it be Star Wars or not, whatever it is, but my intention behind it is to make all the women out there uncomfortable because they need to change their way of thinking. How disgusting. How disgusted would you be if a man said that? So what makes it okay for a woman to say that on the opposite gender? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If a male says it, it's a cancelable offense. If a female says it, it gets a round of applause. You heard it. When it's the first thing that she fucking says.
And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Claps and laughter. If it was a man, he'd be fucked. So based on that premise, this isn't okay. But this is who Kathleen Kennedy wants. And to all those fucking idiots out there that still think that Kathleen Kennedy has no control, or thinks that this Rey Star Wars movie isn't going to happen, or think that the Acolyte is just some tax write-off, you're fucking delusional. Grizzy did a nice little edit. Great, Grizzy. Let's take a look.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Well, I can change that in a hurry.
Look at the joy that she's got on her face when she says it.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Disgusting. Fucking disgusting. Anna, put this out. I only just saw it before. I don't know if I've seen this before. I haven't watched it yet. This is the woman, Kathleen Kennedy, handpicked to direct the next Star Wars movie. It's doomed. Let's take a listen to this one.
I think at the heart of everything, I am a storyteller and an activist. And
when you promote yourself as an activist, straight off the bat, like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
my body of work over the last 20 years has been guided by my activism, and every single piece of work that I've ever created has a piece of activism in it. It could be very overt or it could be covert, but it is there. And I think that as a storyteller, I'm not sure if all of you know this, but I'm not a trained filmmaker. So I never went to film school. I went to Smith College and did my undergraduate and studied economics and political science like a good Pakistani girl. And then I did my graduate studies, but also in international politics. And so I am an accidental filmmaker.
Wow. Wow. What qualifies her to make fucking Star Wars? She just said that she overtly or covertly puts her activism into her storytelling. Now, she hasn't done any storytelling. She's done fucking what's the word I'm looking for? She's a documentarian, right? She's done those and she's won awards for them. Good for you. She's not a filmmaker. But man, what qualifies her to make fucking Star Wars? Nothing. She wasn't in film school. She did nothing. The three clips that I have just shown you, this one from CNN, the one from the Woman of the World or whatever it was, fucking with Jon Stewart, and this one absolutely disgusts me. It disgusts me that she's got any involvement in Star Wars, and it just goes to show that all you need to have to qualify to go and make a Star Wars film, one of the biggest IPs to ever exist, is to be an activist and to be a woman, and preferably to be a woman of color. You know, and it's really funny that there's a lot of people out there still praising Dave Filoni, right? A lot of people still praising Dave Filoni for his garbage. But he got up in front of the women's conference and basically parroted the same fucking shit that this Charmin Obaid-Chinoy bitch is saying. We put a female lead in a Star Wars movie. Oh, how unfair.
Because what we're trying to do isn't just create one type of character. We're trying to create a diverse range of characters, especially female characters that are strong, that are independent. When you look at Rey, on The Force Awakens, she's a female lead in a whole new chapter of the Star Wars saga. We haven't done a movie for 10 years, and here comes a Star Wars film, and here comes Rey. And what is it? Is it Panic in the Streets? Oh my gosh, a female lead in a Star Wars movie. And then the trailer for Rogue One comes out, and it's another female lead. Oh my gosh. How unfair.
People think that Dave Filoni is loyal to George Lucas, where he has come out himself and said that George wanted Ahsoka dead. And I've always been in the Ahsoka lives camp.
I've always been a bit more in the Ahsoka lives camp. And George has been very full on in the Ahsoka dies camp. I think I've said that before, if not revelation for you.
This bitch is no fucking savior. What a piece of shit. And Greg makes a great point here in saying that he is involved now in the inception phase of all of these fucking projects. So he is right on board with doing this fucking bullshit activism Star Wars movie with Rey Palpatine as the lead. Yes, another female lead in a Star Wars movie. So that's where we are right now with Star Wars. That's where we are right now with Star Wars. I am disgusted, completely and utter fucking disgust for this bitch that's come into my favorite IP and decided to say that we now need, like, it's, you know, we're now in 2024. It's about time we had female, like, what the fuck? We've had the Force is female for 10 years. We've had female leads. We've had females behind the scenes. And I'm going to say, not that there's anything fucking wrong with that, but it starts with the fucking story. But this is the thing. The females that they're employing aren't the females that are going to do a good fucking story. They're the activists. They're the queers that want to project their bullshit lives into Star Wars somehow. Like Leslie Headland. You saw Star Wars Celebration. Oh, tell me a little bit about your character. Yes, she's a strong woman. Yes, Queen, yes.
So my character, you know, she's a powerful leader. She's a powerful leader. Yes, yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I was very excited to kind of be in that, because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
That's how they promote this crap. Because they think that that's what people fucking care about. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Because it's like I said, how would Hollywood feel if I was put on a project, a Star Wars project, a Star Wars movie, and I said my one and only and the most important thing for me to make sure that I want to push is to make all the women uncomfortable. That's my intention. I'm an activist. I've got no credits when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to filmmaking. I never went to film school, but my intention is to make all the women feel uncomfortable. What a disgusting human being. Disgusting fucking human being. And you know, it's really good to see a lot of people out there, and not just men, not just the man babies. It's awesome to see the majority of the fucking fan base come out and say, this is bullshit.